Lawmakers are debating whether to portion out more money from the state's real estate transfer tax to help fund Maine's emergency homeless shelters.
However, that money could go elsewhere, and that's why some in the state are opposing the proposal. State House reporter Christian Harsa joins us now with more. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Brian and Amanda. This bill would make changes to the relatively new real estate transfer tax on million-dollar homes permanent and increase the share of funding that homeless shelters receive. However, historically, a larger share of this tax has gone to county budgets, and county leaders are saying they're already facing shrinking budgets as it is. Preble Street is one of 41 emergency shelters in the state, and all could get new funding under LD 2124.
We could change lives. We're already changing tremendous lives.
Last year, the legislature increased the share homeless shelters received from the real estate transfer tax on million-dollar homes. But that increase was a one-time measure.
We're looking for something that sustains it in subsequent years.
LD 2124 would do that, adding an estimated $1.2 million to shelter funding. Preble Street Advocacy Director Terrence Miller says that stimulus has been long needed.
The beds have increased, the need has increased, there's more people out there who are seeking these services.
The real estate transfer tax has historically been split 90-10, with the counties getting 10% and the state 90%. Last year, the state added a new bracket for homes above the $1 million mark, and splitting that 90.8 to 9.2%. LD 2124 would change that to 91.8 for the state and 8.2% for the counties.
For the most part,
Somerset County Administrator and President of the Maine Association of County Administrators, Tim Curtis, says this bill diverts needed money from their coffers.
It concerns us that they're looking at reducing the amount of money that goes to the counties when they don't really have to be able to fund this bill.
Curtis says the state could fund shelters from its share of the transfer tax. Otherwise, Curtis says counties are left with tough choices.
Then there's no choice. You either have to cut those services or you have to raise property taxes.
And Curtis says many services, like the Register of Deeds or county jails, have already squeezed all they can out of their current budgets.
And every dollar they take away from helping to provide for those services is something that we have to go back to the taxpayer for.
Shelters are infrastructure.
Bill sponsor Democratic Representative Drew Gatine of Westbrook says because the tax on million-dollar homes is new, counties should not see a drop in revenue.
But we are acknowledging that there's another very important thing that impacts people in counties across the state.
The Housing and Economic Development Committee is still deliberating this proposal and is scheduled to continue discussing it in a work session tomorrow. Brian and Amanda.
Christian Harsa live for us in the studio tonight. Christian, thank you.